Good evening, guys. Thank you so very much. I'm super excited to be back here again on another exciting Upgrade Mastery just for you. Right? How are you doing? How are you doing, guys? Good to be back. So I was away for a period of time because I had a little bit of head scare, but I'm back now. Right, I'm back now. So excited to be back. I think I've missed 2 Fridays, but we are back. How are you doing? How have you been? Welcome to November. I think this is the first Friday in November we're having this conversation, and this is not going to be a very long conversation because we made a few tweaks to some of the things that we do, and in place of our belief system, we started doing a set of short videos on Instagram, which we would still share as our belief system technically with us, right? So it's important that we get to also look at it, right? So let me just let me just get out from my phone, just pop up the lives on Instagram, the lives that we did during the week. So we did five different sets of shots 1 minute, some seconds live to explain a few things, which we are also just going to look at in this conversation today before we get into what we want to talk about man, right? I really want us to get into that conversation on man. It's not going to be a very lengthy gist, right? But we should be able to have a great time, no matter how short it's gonna be, right? We may not do for 1 hour stretch because, like I said, I'm still getting myself together, but it's gonna be worthwhile for the time that we'll spend here. So I'm super excited to be back, right? I am excited to be back. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to be back, and I can't wait to get the show on the road. So yes, let's look at a few things that we did over the week. So we did a video we shared which was quite interesting. And we talked about the fact that we make a life, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Now, the essence of this conversation during the week was to just let us know that beyond just getting things for yourself, you should become a person who deliberately and intentionally get to give out things to others because we make a life by what we get or make a living. We make a living by what we get. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Make a living by what we get, but make a life by what we give. So it's more important that we focus on what we're giving and not only on what we're getting, right? Because you can get so much, but your ability to give is even much more important, right? Someone said something very striking. He said, the Dead Sea is the Dead Sea not because water doesn't flow into it, but because it doesn't flow out anywhere. So it's not given. That's why it's the Dead Sea, because it gets, but it doesn't give. And during the week, we said we should begin with a consciousness that we make a living that what we give, that what we get, or make a life by what we give. And this just summarizes everything that we've been talking about. And there's a very important statement I made when I said that it is not the rich that give, it is givers that give, right? That was very, very striking and important because we know that the rich right? So that was the first thing we shared during the week, right? So then went on during the week, we shared another very interesting thought when we said that morning is not always dawn, but whenever you wake up, that is your morning, right? A very interesting thought that morning is not always done, but whenever you wake up, that is your morning. So head on to Instagram and you get to watch that conversation, right? It was just a short video, less than 2 minutes. It's a very short video, but it's powerful, right? And then we talked about another one during the week. We talked about three things that you have that you don't know. I particularly love this one because we shared the fact that you have a voice, you have a message, and you have a gift. Now, these are three important things that you have, but you don't know that you have. You have a voice, and we said, use it. You have a message, and we said, share it. You have a gift, and we said, give it. And we wrapped up by letting you know that it is not what you don't have that limits you, it's what you have that you don't know how to use that limits you, right? And then one of them that gist during the week, and we talked about obedience is an activator, right? Obedience is right. It was mind blowing just knowing that obedience is an activator, right? That was also a very interesting conversation. And then we wrapped up the week by talking about give. And we said, when you give in the capacity of the you give in the capacity of the giver, not in the capacity of the receiver, right? When you give in the capacity of the giver. So when you give, you're not focusing on who you're giving, we're focusing on the capacity of you as the giver, right? So yeah, that's where we wrapped up all the gist that we had during the week. And because we were recovering from the health scare, we didn't do so much on the belief system. Yeah, we had a few, but we didn't share much of the belief system. So hopefully by this coming week, we will resume the belief system in earnest, right? Now, the next thing we want to talk about, I want to talk about man, because we know we really need to get into that gist for today because of the brevity of time that we have for today. So today we're going to do a very short, abridged version of this conversation, just to let you know that we are back. All right, so we want to talk about man. And when we say man, you must realize this and you must be open to this that man either be used by God or by the devil, right? And man is an acronym that we decided to use that says there is the medium, access, and a necessity. Now, I want you to pay close attention to this conversation because we're not going to spend too much time on this. Man talks about the medium, the access, and the necessity. How important this thing is for you. Now, I'll begin this conversation by letting us know this all important quote I always share, that man is but man. Even the best of man is still man, right? Man is but man. Even the best of man is still a man. So, which means there are things you will need to achieve in your life, you need man. And there are things that would bring destruction to your life, it will come from man. And I'm not specific about any gender to say male or female, but it's man as human, man, right? So God intended to save the world, and he sent his son in the form of man to make that happen. Also, um, when John the Baptist was speaking against Herod for marrying his brother Philip's wife Herodias, guess what? Herodias' daughter did a dance, and Herod said, "Ask me anything, even to the half of my kingdom, and I'll give it to you." And she went and asked her mother, Herodias, who said, "Ask for the head of John the Baptist on a plate." Now, as important as John the Baptist was, his head was demanded on a plate. Okay, sorry about the network challenge, right? So I was trying to say something earlier. I said when John the Baptist, who was the forerunner of Jesus, right? And he was speaking against what Herod had done. And then Herod's daughter did a dance, and he so was intrigued and said she should ask for anything, even to the half of his kingdom. And she went to ask her mother, Herodias, who gave her the idea to ask for the head of John the Baptist, which she did. And even though Herod respected John the Baptist for who he was, he also could not go against his word. Now, that was Herod as a man. That tells you that man can be used for good, man can be used for evil, but he's still man, right? Because help that we need many times would not come from the sky. I say it all the time that all help comes from God through man to you, which means man can be a channel of help to you. Man can also be a channel of destruction to you. Man, you see, when people get to do the wrong things, when people are influenced, when they do the wrong things, guess what? Who actually initiates them into those wrong things? The man. Right? And when people get to do the right things, who actually inspires them to want to do what's right? It's a man. So the truth is, whichever side of the pendulum it swings, you will always see an effect of man. And that's why we need to now start to intentionally and deliberately focus on this man, whether it's male, whether it's female, the man. And what does this man actually represent in our lives? First, man is a medium. Next, man gives access. Next, man is a necessity. The truth is, whether you like it or not, you are not an alien. You cannot live comfortably in this life without having contact or interaction with man. It's not possible. In fact, when you do business, the money you make from business will come from a man, right? So it's important that we pay attention to this and focus on these things because of the significance that they have. I said man is a medium, man gives you access, man is a necessity. So let's begin. Man is a medium, man as a medium. How does this work? Now you see, Laban, the father-in-law of Jacob, he said to Jacob that I perceived by divination, because he followed that process, divination. He said, I perceived by divination that my house is being blessed because of you. My house is being blessed because of you. So he could see literally the blessings in his house because of a man that was in his house. That's when you look at it from the positive perspective. You could see the same thing happen with Joseph. That Potiphar actually told Joseph that my house is being blessed because of you, a man. So a man can come into your life and bring a blessing to you, and also a man can come into your life and bring curses to you. Still man. Why? Because man is a medium. Man is a medium, right? When you want to go from one level to another, it will be a man that will introduce you to another man. So man is a medium. Man is a channel. Man is a process. So you need to understand this and realize how important this is. So first off, we've established that part. Man is a medium, right? You got to learn some things from a man. A medium gets to be a channel for a man. Things come through you from a man, comes to you from a man. That's because man is a medium. And the next thing you need to also consider in this conversation is that man is access. Man is access. Man is access. You know, one of the things that Elijah asked the Shunammite woman, he said to her, should I put a word to the king for you? That's access. Because Elisha knew the king, right? You have read when Naaman was sent by the king of Syria to the king of Israel to heal him. And when the king of Israel got the message, he said, oh, the king of Syria is looking for a means to get into war with us. How do I heal Naaman, the Syrian army general? And the king of Israel tore his clothes. And Elisha heard that the king of Israel has torn his clothes. He said, no, 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 you don't have to do that. Send me Naaman. Send me Naaman. And he will know that there's a God in Israel. And Elisha did get Naaman healed. What's my point in this? Elisha had access to the king as a man. So when he was telling the Shunammite woman, do I put in a word to the king for you? Do I introduce you to the general? It's because as a man, he had that access. He had the access. So that tells you that man has access. Man has access. Right? You see, there are some areas you want to get to, there's some things you want to do. You need a man to become the access to those things. So, man gives access. Man gives access. Very important. No matter how much you think you know, there are still some things you don't know. And when you get in contact with some certain people, aka man, you will not get that access. Are you getting this? Man gives access. Man makes access possible. Right? You know, there's this principle, I've forgotten what exactly it is. There's this principle that says that you are, okay, I think it's the sixth degree of difference or so, that you are 6 people away from anybody you need to meet in the world. Sixth degree of separation, right? You are 6 people away from any person you need to meet in the world. Let's say you want to meet the incoming president, Donald Trump of the United States, right? You are 6 people away from making it Donald Trump. You still have that possible. There's someone you know who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows someone that knows Donald Trump. 6 degree of separation. What does that mean? True man, there is access. I told us earlier, God wouldn't come down from heaven to do a miracle for you. It will come through man as an access to you. Like I said, all help comes from God through man to you. That man is access. That man gives you access. It is making sense. You need to understand this. You need to realize this. The man gives access. So there are certain places you need to get to in your life. There are certain people you need to meet in your life. It's man that gives that access. On your own, humanly speaking, that's going to be impossible. But it is man that gives that access. And when you understand it, it helps you position yourself the way you should be, because it's man that gives the access. Remember, the sixth degree of separation. You are 6 persons away from anyone you desire to meet in this world. 6 persons away. Because there's someone who knows 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 someone that knows the person that you want to meet. 6th degree of separation. You may not believe it, but if you actually put your mind down and look at it objectively, you'll be shocked of how this really is. You say, but you live in Nigeria. How would you be able to ever know someone who knows Donald J. Trump? There's definitely someone you know who knows someone who's not in Nigeria, who knows someone who's in the United States, who knows someone who may probably be in the United States and in Washington, D.C., who knows someone who may know someone who is in the White House, who knows someone who's in the White House, who knows someone who's close to the president. So, believe it or not, 6th degree of separation exists. That's to tell you how man is access. Right? And then finally, the end in man is a necessity. See, you can't do life alone. Even God told Adam, it's not good that man should be alone. Right? No, God didn't tell Adam. God was speaking to himself, like Father, Son, Spirit, right? The Trinity, and said, it's not good that man should be alone. Let's create a helpmate for him. Which means everyone needs someone. It's a necessity. You may not need the person I need, but there's somebody that you need. So there's the necessity that you have a man in your life. And by man, I'm not saying a male, but a man. You know, scripture in Genesis, scripture tells that God made man in his image and after his likeness, male and female created he them. So the very first essence is man, not necessarily the gender of male and female. So there's a male man, there's a female man, it's man, right? And man is a necessity regardless of where you find yourself in the world. Man is a necessity. Man is a necessity. There's no way you can do life alone. No way you can do life alone. Man is a necessity. So you need man. So this is what man is all about, that we really just did a deep dive into, right? The medium is an access and is a necessity. These three simple things about the human called man. So there are people you need in the medium. Things come to you through them. The medium. There's the access. People bring things to you. Access. They connect you with things. Access. They open doors for you. Access. That's man. And then is a necessity. Regardless of what you think you are right now, there's still an upgrade. And it is man that will bring you into that upgrade. Man, I mean, there will be a medium that will bring you there. There will be an access that will open you up to it. And then it's a necessity that you move from where you are to where you need to be. And all of this is made possible through the agency of man. All of this is made possible through the agency of man. So except you are living under a rock, that's when you will not understand how important the role of man is in your life. Right? Literally, in all humility, after God, the next important person in your life is man. And I'm not talking about a gender. I'm not talking about male or female. No, just talking about man in its entirety. The medium, the access, and the necessity. Just man. Nothing more, nothing less, just man. I hope this makes sense for you, how important man is. So as you move into your week, the remaining parts of this year also, just have this at the back of your mind, how important that man is. The medium, the access is a necessity. Like I said, this is not going to be a very long conversation like our usual, because it's just a way to kick back and say, we're back. We may have had a health scare, but we're back. And we're back. And that's what I've come to share with you on what man is. And I'd like to encourage us that we should please follow the YouTube channel, subscribe, get your friends to follow, get your friends to subscribe. It will do us a world of good. And also get to follow us on Instagram, right? Because we share some of this new content that we share outside of our belief system that we get to review here and talk about. We share a new way of share. We have a new way of sharing content now, which is the shorts video clips, and they always go on Instagram live. So go on Instagram live for a few 1 or 2 minutes in the morning. We save it and put it out there for other people to hear and learn from. And this week I share some of the things that we put out this week, and we ended this week with give, give, and we said when you give, it's showing that you are generous. It's done with intentionality. It must be something that is value, and it must show empathy. That is give, right? So I want to encourage you to follow. Those are short 1 2 minutes video that we share in the morning are just a way to wake you up and inspire you and get ready for your day, right? And it has been fun sharing those videos as we recuperate and get back into full function for what we do. So guys, this is it. We said it's not going to be a long conversation this Friday because we are just getting back and we're getting back on track, and we're excited to be up and running, right? Since we missed 2 weeks previously, 2 Fridays we couldn't show up, but thank God we're here. And yes, the other Friday I couldn't show up. We had an award that we got. Yes, so that's why we also couldn't show up. We're picking up this award that Friday in Edo State, JUPSA, the John Odigi Oyegun Public Service Academy, where we are one of the faculty, right, in training. And it was a beautiful event. I shared the pictures. It was a beautiful event, and that was happening last Friday as we were recovering. We were able to go pick this up to say thank you for the honor, right? So that's why we're here that Friday. Aside the fact that we're recovering, we're being honored with this from the Edo State government and JUPSA. Shout out to the DG of JUPSA, Precious Imuwaye Ajonu. Thank you so much for this honor. Truly, truly appreciate it. Right? Okay, so that's it. That's it, guys. You guys have been amazing. It has been an amazing time getting back. For our lives on Sundays, we've gone back full fledged. So it's just this Friday, we're just trying to still do it skeletal, which was good. We talked about man today. It was worth the time. This is what we'll call it a wrap for today. And we look forward to seeing you again on Sunday. Yeah, Sundays we do the Upgrade Live with Mr. Upgrade. Sundays, amazing. I loved last Sunday. We talked about systems. So just in case you missed last Sunday, please just check back on the channel. You get to watch it again. Talk about system. That is an amazing conversation. We truly should spend some time on and digest it. It was robust, it was rich, it was life changing. It was a way to take a welcome back from the short break we had because of the health scare. Okay, that being said, thank you guys. Thank you so much for being with us again today. I'm super excited that you were here. Like we always tell you, there's always more on the upgrade side of lives. And that's why we encourage you to leave good behind so that you can upgrade. Thank you so much for watching. See you.